Hi, John Greger from Cold Snap Photography. What a great panorama site. Today I'm going to talk about how to shoot panorama photographs, good camera techniques, and some tips for getting great panorama photographs. After you've chosen a great location, the next most important thing is to make sure that the base or the yoke of your tripod is level. That's where those three legs come together. Most tripods have a little bubble level there. Level it off and make sure that that spirit level is perfectly level. Once I level the tripod, I can now level the camera itself to make sure that it is level throughout its swing. I check it at various points. Turn off all auto settings on the camera, auto exposure and auto focus. Notice that the camera is mounted vertically, and while level left to right, is pointed downward slightly to pick up a little more foreground. As far as filters go, graduated neutral density filters are just fine, but avoid polarizing filters. They can cause striping or uneven blending later on in the image. The vertical orientation of the camera and the wide-angle lens gives me lots of real estate and pixels to play with later on in post-processing. I choose a beginning point past where I want to start the panorama and an end point past where I want the image to end. I do this because in post-process we end up cropping in a little bit because of rounded corners in the sky or foreground, and this avoids having to make adjustments or fixes later on. Each frame should overlap at least 30 to 50% from the previous one. I do this by looking at an element that's on the far right side of the frame and move it towards the middle, and then take another exposure, repeating that process. One last tip: when you're shooting your image sequence, put your hand in front of the beginning and at the very end of the sequence. This way you'll know that all the image files in between pictures of your hands are for a panorama stitch. Here's the final image after it's been post-processed and merged together for the completed panorama. It's a little more colorful because I shot it earlier in the morning when the color was a little bit more vibrant. I hope these tips have helped and give you a better idea on how to execute wonderful panorama photographs.
Whoa.